Welcome to Something to Talk About. Yeah, really loud. Welcome to Something to Talk About.
Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. You heard the girl, and we're doing another What If Small Council, and yeah, I've been making a few of these, so I hope you guys are enjoying them. You know, I'm not in the future where all the ones I put out have already came out, so I hope you're enjoying them. Maybe by the time this one comes out, I already was like, screw, they don't like them, I'm done. I'm kidding. All right, if you don't know what's going on, my name is Taco. I yell a song, bus, and fire lore at you. I don't do any editing, and yeah, we're covering what if Laenor Velaryon became king after he won the Council of 101. So, first things first, Laenor Velaryon, not Rhaenys. So, in the books, I know in the House of Dragon TV show, it's between Viserys and Rhaenys, and that's all the pretty much right away in the in the Great Council of 101. Rhaenys gets booted for being a girl pretty quickly, and it's actually between Laenor and Viserys, and in the main timeline, Viserys gets it. So if you're like, no, I really wanted Rhaenys to be in charge, she's still going to be in charge. Okay, I could say right now, he's 9 when he will become king. So then when the old king dies at 3, Laenor would be 9. So let's get into my what's going on here. I'll be making what if videos in the vein of small councils. This time from a comment from Samuel Coombs. I'm getting really good at reading this. Who commented on my Daemon Blackfyre Kingsguard vid asking for a small council, and this stemmed me into thinking about other would-be kings. I will pull from only existing lore. I will not make up any characters from scratch. I'm a lore guy. I do lore stuff. This is all based on the lore, and it is just my opinion. So please tell me your small council in the comments. If you're like, Daemon Targaryen would have been made hand right away, I'd be like, okay, man, you just let me know in the comments. That's not the way I'm going. Did it say, yeah, Daemon Targaryen? Daemon Targaryen's not going to be made hand. Sorry. The split in the timeline would be the Council of 101. So if Laenor won more support during the Great Council and he becomes king at the age of 9 in a 103 when the old King Jaehaerys died. So when King Jaehaerys, I'm assuming it would be his death would be the same in this timeline, dies at 103. So then that's when Viserys takes over. But in this timeline, Laenor would take over. But Laenor's only 9 years old. I'm not getting into the whole maesters at the Council of 101, and they would never have done it because no one got to see them count the votes, and they probably just didn't want Rhaenys to be in charge because they hate dragons or whatever. Okay, I'm not getting into any of that. The what if is just they got more support and Laenor won. And so now let's first talk about the king. So the king we're getting in this is King Laenor Velaryon. Laenor would have been 7 years old during the Great Council, but 9 years old when he takes the throne in 103. So needless to say, he would not have been betrothed to Rhaenyra Targaryen yet. So let's take that out right away. I don't see him taking any power and definitely being the Tommen Baratheon of his day, right? I don't really see 9-year-old him seizing the kingdom, right? With his regent in hand having the real power over the kingdom and the young boy king just playing with his dragon. Yeah. That's so if you wanted a Rhaenys, what if Rhaenys became king? Guess who the regent's gonna be, right? So before I read her slide, I wanted to just state one more time. I do see him kind of being passive, right? Even in our own timeline, Laenor kind of seems like he likes to just kind of, not our timeline, but the main book timeline, he kind of just likes to hang out, you know? He likes to hang out with his favorites and his dude friends and do dude friend stuff and go to tourneys. And, he really doesn't seem like the most ambitious guy. So I don't see him being a very different king than like kind of Viserys was, except he's really young when he becomes king. So I definitely kind of see him King Tommen-ish. So who would be running the king? Or running the kingdom then? Well, the first person would be the queen that never was. So Queen Regent would be Rhaenys Targaryen. With Laenor being a young age, power would fall to his regent and hand, Rhaenys, the queen that never was. She still isn't a queen, but now she's a queen regent. Right? She would get to act as queen in this time, ruling alongside her hand. She would make a wise and strong regent. I got nothing but love for Rhaenys, and I want the show. I'm gonna throw this out really quick. Hopefully this is too controversial, but I want the show watchers to know she has dark hair. Like, when people were mad about like, oh, they made Corlys black, that angers me. I'm like, I'm not mad about that. I'm mad about Rhaenys not being blonde or being blonde, not having dark hair, because her having dark hair makes the strong boys having dark hair a more wishy-washy gray area, and we're not sure if the strong boys are strong boys. We're pretty sure, so them taking away her dark hair ruins that. Nothing really was ruined for me for Corlys being black. I just got everybody mad. So speaking of Corlys, everyone's now in the comments. I don't care. Everything you're going to say, if you bring up that topic, I don't care. I was just bringing up, she's got dark hair in the books. You guys didn't know that? All right. Hand of the King, Corlys. Speaking of Corlys Velaryon, I really wanted him to be Master of Ships, but I don't see him not wanting the most powerful spot, right? Even though he would make the best Master of Ships, and I originally wanted him there, but I don't think he would give up the chance to pretty much rule the kingdom alongside his Queen Regent. And it makes sense for the king's parents to be the regent in hand, because he is Laenor's dad, right? So Laenor's dad's hand and his mom's the Queen Regent. I think that makes perfect sense. He would love playing as king. I see him doing everything he can to gain more power for the kingdom and House Velaryon. Corlys would use all his wealth and influence to turn the Targaryen dynasty into the Velaryon dynasty, right? Or the Velaryon. He would try to make the Velaryon dynasty the real kings. I don't see him not trying to do that. Though I see a betrothal with Rhaenyra Targaryen being in the cards right away in this timeline, right? Like, I see immediately him going up to Viserys like, marry your daughter to my son. She can just be his queen consort, and Laenor can be king. I don't think he would make a great king later on, but I think that that's what Corlys would immediately try to get a marriage proposal between them. And now that the power is flipped, and the person who is king is now Laenor instead of Rhaenyra being heir, I think the power dynamic's a little different, and they're going to agree to it pretty quick. All right, so let's get through some non-changes here. Master of Coin, Lyman Beesbury. Yeah, no changes. He was Master of Coin for the old king. He seems capable enough, and I don't see him being replaced. He did the job for a super long time. He seems like he would stay out of trouble, and he does a well enough job, right? I mean, he does it for a super long time in the main timeline. Okay, so Master of Laws, Bormund Baratheon. Bormund was the biggest known supporter of Laenor and the Great Council. And if it wasn't for Corlys, Bormund would definitely be hand, all right? Like 100%. If Corlys Velaryon wouldn't grab that hand ship as quickly as possible, Bormund would make a really good hand. And I think I had it like that originally, but it had to change. Corlys would be hand. So I'm sure with the reputation of being, quote, hard and strong and unmoving, that's what they say about Bormund, Bormund is for sure an important ally, right? He would make a great Master of Laws. I tend to make Baratheon's Master of Laws. I don't know why. Master of Ships, Lord Manderly. What? Yeah, a Manderly on the small council. You heard me right. A Northman. Somebody's going to say, oh, they were, Manderlys were in the small council. Well, Manderly was a regent once. That's about it. And that'd be after. All right. So this is it's weird to have a non-Valyrian here, but Corlys didn't have many other family members at that point that I see him trusting. Yes, Vaemond. But in the books, Vaemond's not Corlys' brother. He's his nephew, and they don't seem to be very close. They don't seem to get along. All that aside, Lord Manderly was a big supporter of Laenor and his family at the Great Council, and he would be rewarded for those that support. Yeah, I'm not making this up, right? So just like Boorman, who is said to have been a huge supporter of both Rhaenys and Laenor at the Great Council 101, so was Lord Manderly. He was really pushing for Laenor. So I see him doing all that. He's going to get a spot on the small council. He's going to have a bad time. I don't know why I said it that way. So Lord Manderly, yeah, was a big supporter. Yeah, he will be rewarded. I see him a fit of Master of Coin or Laws, but they have better choices. I think Lyman wouldn't get moved anywhere, and I see Lord Boorman definitely a better Master of Laws than a Master of Ships. Plus, the Manderleys are in charge of a large port and a seafaring city, right? I see him being a good fit, and it's cool to see a Northman on the council, which I already said. So, yeah, I love it. I love the idea of a Manderly. So, Master of Whispers, not sure. I say it in all these, but Master of Whispers is a really hard one to come up with because you can't just toss Lord Manderly into it, right? You need somebody really qualified. So that's why it's hard to fill. So I already said it here. This one's always hard to fill because it takes a very skilled individual, not just a random lord. And at this time, and at the time of 101 AC, I don't see a perfect fit. Plus, there hasn't been a Master of Whispers since the reign of Maegor the Cruel. I see this spot staying vacant, but I do not. But I do think maybe Daemon the Rogue Prince might eventually be a good fit. Maybe I don't see them giving, as you noticed, no Targaryens on this list, and I think it's because they don't want them to seize power. And I think that would be Corlys just keeping Viserys at bay, and also Viserys is a hard one because I don't see him a good fit for ruling any of these spots, right? I did eventually think of him being like Master of Laws or something, but I think Corlys would be shrewd of keeping out Viserys right away, or else Viserys would possibly try to get power back. And same with Daemon. Daemon definitely, I feel like, might be a little power hungry, but he would make a decent Master of Whispers. But first things first, no Master of Whispers right away, and that's because there hasn't been one through the entire rules of Jaehaerys I, so I don't see them just like all of a sudden be like, and this person. The next Master of Whispers would be during Viserys' reign with Larry Strong, and then in Rhaenor, the other court, Rhaenyra, thank you, Rhaenyra's court with Massaria, Misery, whatever you want to call. So they end up getting Masters of Whispers, but I don't see Laenor having one right away. Maybe eventually, like I said. So then for Grand Maester, Runster, absolutely. Another no change here. Runster was just named as a Grand Maester like right before the Small Council, and it was only a couple of years in when Laenor would take the throne. So he's kind of boring and mostly known for taking poor records. That's all we really know about Runster, but he would remain Grand Maester. Okay, last but not least, let's get that Lord Commander. You know who it is. Yeah, duh. It's Ryan Redwine. Ryan Redwine for sure. Yes, no surprises here. He was already Lord Commander. Plus, he's one of the greatest Kingsguard of all time. So replacing him would be just as dumb as Joffrey Barristan or firing Barristan, which was super dumb. He's a freaking legend. Yeah, there we go. They would definitely keep Ryan Redwine. I don't know why they wouldn't. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. I hope this wasn't super controversial. And keep in mind, this is just my opinion. If you think, no, they would have stacked it full of Targaryens because they're keeping their enemies close. They wouldn't put all their supporters on the council. Okay, maybe they went that way. I'm glad you think that they went that way. At the end of the day, this is a hypothetical thing about hypothetical history of books that are just books. History that's not real. So this is just a fun exercise I'm doing and you're doing too. So let me know what you got in the comments. And if they are 100% different, I'm going to love it. Okay. If they're different, but you're a jerk about it, I'm going to get upset because I don't like you being a jerk to me. So don't be a jerk. And yeah, opinions are like assholes. That doesn't mean you have to be, right? I read that somewhere. Thank you for watching and let me know what you think of my choices. And yeah, peace.